Hi Tribe, I'm Evelyn, and this is Demon Dialogues, a place on Objectively Type where we talk about everybody's favorite topics, our demons. So in continuing my going down my function stack, today we're talking about feminine FI, which in this case is actually my demon. So I have, as an ENFP jumper, I have feminine FI as a demon. I've talked about my feminine FI on this channel before, so I may be rehashing things that I've said in the past. I mean, frankly, I believe feminine FI was one of the first things that I talked about on this channel, and so frankly, going back over that known information would be good to do at this point, because that was months ago now, and so like my understanding of my FI has evolved and changed since that time, and my experience with my demon FI has evolved and changed over that time. So I think it's good to kind of go back and revisit topics that I've done before. So as an ENFP jumper, I am a bit unusual, and this is like, to me, like the biggest value in OPS was taking the 16 Myers-Briggs types and then realizing that there's such a thing as the jumper, that it's not just an unhealthy loop that I'm just stuck in between my NE and my TE, and I've just been in this unhealthy loop like my entire life, I guess. No, in OPS, the jumpers are a thing. Both Dave and Shannon are jumpers, and so having that understanding, or having this new framework that adds 16 more types on top of the Myers-Briggs types, that alone, if that's all that OPS did, full stop, that would have been, to me, beneficial. And then, going on from there, the animals, the modality, the sexuals, like, that's all good too. But the 32 for me right now is key and important to understand. And you have to remember, this is a side tangent into the typology itself, but Dave and Shannon started with the 16, and then they went to the 32, and then they went from there, and 64 and so forth. And so I think those of us that are in the class, so I've been in the class now for, over 18 months now. I think we want to jump right into the 512, but I think we need to understand the 32 before we can start to understand the rest. But we got the fully baked system. We didn't have to go through all that, but I think that there's some benefit, especially in our understanding, to understand the 32. So as an NETE, I fall in that 16 types that didn't fit in Myers-Briggs. And so what it means is that even though I'm an ENFP, I actually have demon FI. So it's like, how does that even work, right? Because I have the function stack of the ENFP. My function stack still goes NE, FI, TE, SI, okay? So my big problems are still going to be the NE and the SI, right? I'm still going to have those ENFP problems at the end of the day. But where I differ from my standard ENFP buddies is that I have Savior TE and Demon FI, which means that I often, it's my natural mental mode to sort of, I'll say, deprioritize or put on a lower level of priority my own wants and values, whereas like your standard ENFP, the lead consume ENFP, is going to have their wants and values above the TE of either what the tribe wants or what does work. I think I talked last time about TE and kind of the nuances between TE as effectiveness versus TE as doing for the tribe, because this is like, it's kind of a funny thing. I've been talking to a lot of people about this lately. After I sent that video, some people sent me some emails and some messages, and so I've been chatting about it. I do agree that I'm tribe about self. Like, I do agree with that. But as a double decider, it's a constant struggle between tribe and self, and the tribe doesn't always win. But what almost always wins is, what is TE effective? What actually works in reality? That almost always wins above what I want. What I want and value will get blown away if something TE works. Like, I am willing to put what I like and what I want to the side if it doesn't work. So in an EJ, that can lead to life problems where you suddenly wake up and you're in a career for 35 years that you never wanted, right? Because it worked, right? Like you got into finance and you worked up the line and all, you're a finance person, and you're like, wait, I hate finance, right? That's kind of the story of the EJ. I'm not an EJ. I have tribe above self, but my FI is still really, really strong. It's my second function. Dave and Shannon did I think this was only in the class, so it might be behind the paywall, sorry guys, where they talked about how as a jumper, Dave's TE still kicks the ass of his brother who's an ENFP and so has lower TE. It's like even though they're both Savior FI, Dave's TE is stronger. And it's that way with me. Like my FI is still strong and it's stronger than my TE. I know what I want. I know what I value. But for me, especially with feminine FI, it feels really insecure, and I do not want to put my eggs in that basket, if you will. It's like my FI feels like a ship or a boat that I can see, I can understand. Maybe I even built that boat. Like I've had that boat my entire life, but I don't trust that it's seaworthy, so I really don't want to like stick my whole life in that boat and like go down the stream of life. Like that's kind of how it feels. Like it's still a demon, and I will trust the TE boat more. I will trust the TE boat more. So what do you do with something like that? Like what do you do when you've got, and by the way, on this channel, I talked to Kendrick a few weeks ago, and he also is NETE, but he has masculine FI as his demon, and so his FI feels a lot more secure. That's why he thought it was his savior. Even today, some people, you can see a lot of NF on him. I think you can see a lot of NF on me as well, because my FI is strong. It's just as a feminine function, I tend to kind of protect it because it is vulnerable. So what does that mean for me, like day to day? Just like, okay, let's put the theory aside, all the fun math aside. What does it mean to have demon FI as a double decider? It basically means that there are times when I struggle to know exactly what I want. And for me also, with my SI-FI sleep last, it's what do I want? What do I value, right? That is harder for me to access than of the logic of what works. I have a coworker who said, I think he's a similar type to me, NT, hi. He said, sometimes I trust logic and I forget the facts. And it's like, yeah, that's so true. And logicking stuff out using my NT functions is natural and easy to me. And it takes just a little bit more mental effort and mental exertion to think about what I value. And it's very introverted. That's the other thing. So my S and my F are very introverted. Also on this channel, I interviewed Stephanie, who is FISI, and so like my demons are her saviors, and her saviors are my demons, right? And so like, her demons are my saviors. Sorry. We have the same functions, different orders. She's a INFP jumper and I'm an ENFP jumper. And so in a lot of ways we relate to one another, we get one another, but where she's really clear and she is willing to go all in, and the problems in her life come from she knows what she wants and values in the tribe. It's sort of the problem, like getting the external world on board with what she internally wants and values. Mine's kind of the opposite, where my struggle is constantly reconnecting back to what is it that I want and value. For me, again, as a double decider with, second function FI, it's not the life problem. It's not the tidal waves, right? However, do I notice it? Yes. I mean, again, like I'm typed as sleep last. I agree with them that I'm sleep demon, sleep last. But I've done a ton of self-reflection, a ton of meditation, and a ton of journaling in my time, like even before I met Dave and Shan. And so the FI demon is not the worst thing in my life. It's like, you need to work a little bit harder. Like it just doesn't, it's not something that just comes naturally to me. Like when I wake up in the morning, my very first mental process is to try to figure some stuff out. And so I need to consciously think. And so one of the things I've done is I've systematized my sleep processing and things like that. Like, so I have, routines and apps and, shortcuts on my phone and stuff to make it easier for me to connect with my FI, because that's what it needs. It needs just a little bit of like a little boost. Whereas like my NT, if anything, I need to control it and tell it to stop. My NT works completely opposite of that. So anyways, that's a little bit about Demon FI, what it's like to have Demon FI. All of these videos are going a little bit longer, but people seem to be liking them, so I'm going to keep it up. Next week, we talk about my favorite demon, actually my worst demon, masculine SI. Looking forward to it. See you guys. Bye.